What is up, car addicts? In this video, we're talking about this week's Triple Money Event Week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is for February 24th through March 2nd, 2022. So the current price ride for this week is the Rapid GT Classic. This car is primarily based on the 1972 Aston Martin V8. It has a normal price of $885,000. So to get this car for free, you have to place top 3 in 5 Street Race Series races. And there is no days in a row requirement for this one, so it should be pretty easy to do. Now, the Rapid GT Classic is one of the quickest vehicles for track performance in the Sports Classics class and has some great customization as well, plus a nice interior. It's an overall great car and one I highly recommend you guys trying to win this week. Also, in terms of test ride vehicles, since they've been changing every week, we have the Cinque Mila, the Vision, and the BF Weevil as the test ride vehicles. Now, in terms of a casino podium vehicle, we have the regular Vapid Retinue. So this car is primarily based on the Ford Escort Mark I and is an awesome little car to drive. It has a normal price of about $600,000, so it's not super expensive like we're used to seeing with these podium cars. Now, in terms of performance, this car is around 12th place for lap time in the Sports Classics class, so not the quickest car, but it could put up a decent fight against some of the other Sports Classics cars like the Silvestra and the Zion Classic. It also offers pretty decent customization as well, but overall the Retinue Mark II is just a better overall car in comparison to the regular one. I don't really feel it's necessary to own both. So starting off with the property discounts, we have 25% off the agencies as well as 30% off the art upgrades for them. Next up, we have 40% off the hangar properties as well as the upgrades and renovations for them. Remember that the hangar is needed to purchase most of the aircrafts in game, so I highly recommend buying it if you don't own one already. Moving on to the vehicle discounts, we have 30% off the Cinque Mila, which was one of the cars that was added with the contract DLC. So this car is in the sedans class and is the fastest car in terms of lap time for most tracks in that class. I think it's a great looking car with good customization as well, but it's just a little too expensive for what it is, especially with that 2013 kind of dated interior. I think you're much better off getting a Schafter V12, which is just as quick and even faster on some tracks for only $116,000. Next up, we have 30% off the Vision. So this car is quite obviously in the supercar class and is one of the best looking supercars in the game in my opinion, with some decent customization options, and it's around 15th place for lap time for most tracks, which is pretty decent. Moving along, we have 30% off the Cheetah Classic. So this car is of course in the Sports Classics class and has a great interior, good customization, and is one of the fastest cars in the Sports Classics class for lap time. This is a very good price for this car, and I highly recommend getting it this week if you don't own one already. Moving on to the San Andreas website, we have 30% off the Weevil. It's in the compacts class and really isn't very fast at all, but it's a great looking car with some good customization as well that really allows you to go many different build routes with it. Moving on to the Warstock website, we have 30% off the Tula, a pretty cool plane with the vertical takeoff function, plus it can land on water as well. I think it's a great little plane, but honestly a bit overpriced for what it is. Next up, we have only 15% off the Hydra, a pretty low discount for that one this week, but since it's a high amount, I guess the discount isn't too terrible. And obviously the Hydra is one of the best jets in the game with the vertical takeoff function and the explosive cannons, so if you don't own one, maybe consider getting one this week. Moving on to the Elitist Travels website, we have 40% off the Sea Sparrow, which is a pretty decent helicopter that of course can land on water. And to note, this one cannot be purchased for your Kasatka, which only allows you to have the regular Sparrow in there. Next up, we have 40% off the Sea Breeze, another plane that can land on water. Pretty decent price, but honestly I'm not too much of a fan of this plane. Moving along, we have 40% off the Alpha Z1, which is an awesome plane to do stunts with. Next up, we have 40% off the Ultralight. So this is an awesome little glider that can pretty much go silent off the radar when the muffled carbon propeller upgrade is applied and you're not accelerating. And lastly, we have 30% off the Vellum 5-seater. Not much to say about this one. I think it's a bit overpriced for what it is. In terms of clothing unlocks, you can get this Bravado t-shirt for free for completing a security contract this week. In terms of triple money, we have triple money NRP on air races, which is quite random. No one really plays these, but I guess if you're bored, might as well try a couple. Next up, we have triple money NRP on the Smuggler's Run hanger crates. Now these don't normally pay out too well, but with triple money it is a bit better. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on the adversary mode trapdoor, a pretty fun one to do with friends. Next up, we have double money NRP on flight school, which is kind of interesting and random, but I guess for those of you who've never done flight school, maybe give it a shot this week. And lastly, we have double money NRP on security contracts. So these pay out pretty well with double money. It makes it a fun grind for sure. Again, nowhere near Caio Perico, but it's a nice alternative way of making some money. Moving on to Prime Gaming discounts for Prime Game members only. So again, same as the last few months, we sadly don't have any Prime Gaming discounts currently in game. The only thing we have is the usual free $100,000 for logging in during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Little Soul Park. This week's normal time trial is Storm Drain, one of the easiest time trials by far. I highly recommend either the Pariah, Itali GTO, Divest 8, a Batty 801, or a Reaver holding a wheelie for that time trial. And the premium race for this week is the Supercar Race Business Trip. I highly recommend either the Emerus, Krieger, or the Vest 8 for that race. Every Friday I post a guide on how to easily beat the time trials and premium race. Stay tuned for that if you're new. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, this event week is pretty decent, not too bad. I think we have a good variety of discounts with a lot of war stock, a ton of planes for some reason, and some decent vehicle discounts as well. In terms of the triple money, I'm surprised that they did air freight cargo for triple money. Usually they do double for that, but the payouts are so poor for those that they even did triple money for that one. And the security contract on double money is probably the best thing for this week. And something new a lot of you guys have been suggesting is to do a pick of the week in terms of what vehicle I think is the best on sale in terms of the price and the car itself. And for this week, that's definitely the Cheetah Classic in my opinion. Amazing performance, amazing price, and a great discount as well. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.